John's driving my truck because I'm a rookie. I haven't pulled a boat trailer in 10 years, so.
Dude, we do this with four-wheelers.
He's taking care of it.
We do this with four-wheelers, side-by-sides, trucks.
That's what we would do too back home, but I probably have an easier time with a four-wheeler, honestly, dude.
Yeah, I think it's good right there because it gets slippery. Like, that's his car. If he was to put a hinge on that, we probably would have put a boat.
Oh, yeah. That shit's thick, isn't it?
Chances of stepping on stonefish is
Yeah, dude. That shit creeps me out too. I'm like, fuck.
Hop in,
Good.
bro.
You guys are fucking G's, dude.
Yeah, just watch your swimmers here.
All right, dudes, let's hop right into this. So, this ended up being a pretty awesome day, right? And I don't get to get out on the boat a lot, or on a boat ever, really. I think the last time I got on a boat, my buddy Rob's friend Jerry took us out on his boat up north, and that was back before I was shooting episodes and doing all this stuff. So it was good to get out and you know, hit a couple spots and not just feel dead tired at the end of the day. And this is my very first drop of the day right here. And if you didn't notice, when I hit the top of this rock, I'd already seen this mangrove snapper just kind of swimming around. And it's kind of murky in this area. Well, we didn't stay here very long. It was murky, but it was also super fishy. And that guy just hops right back in, so I just pop him real quick. And you're not going to see a whole lot of fish footage. I had to conserve GoPro battery today, so mostly just shots, and then whatever footage I could get is what's going to make it into this episode. And this is my very next drop, and these two permit roll in, and there was a big school of permit hanging out, so I popped this one right here, and super excited about this guy. Permit are really tasty. And it was pretty murky there, so we moved out onto the reef a little bit. We actually took the boat and moved out just a little bit more. And this is video. Jeremiah had shot this parrotfish, and it holed up in this rock. So I was like, oh man, I'll go see if I can go down there and find it. And on my way down, you'll notice him grunting at me and trying to get my attention, which I did not hear at the time, but the fish had swam out of the other side of this hole over there. So it was all for nothing. Dude got away. And this is just me moved out on the reef a little bit more, and the current's ripping in this area. And to keep from moving, I've tried to wedge myself between these two rocks, and it's not super great cover, but it's good enough cover to get some of these guys in here kind of close. And the trick with these emperor fish or any type of emperor actually is to just not let them see your eyes. But I'm not really banking on getting one of these guys. These fish out here are generally pretty smart, and they're really not getting within range. And I didn't even mean to pull the trigger there. Still working on this Mako trigger pull. It's super light and hard to really nab down. So. And those guys had hopped in the boat, and they were gonna the current was so strong they hopped in the boat. They were going to get the boat, and I was just floating around until they came and picked me up. And this is a completely different location, and this area is super fishy, but also super sharky. There are tons of silkies, white tips, black tips. I mean, probably about every shark you can name that's around the island stays out here. And this is around a 65 to 70 foot drop, I think, depending on where you land. And it's super fishy out here, man. There's just tons of fish everywhere. So I land on the bottom, and I get nestled behind this rock, and these black tips are coming in to check me out. And there's also a school of rainbow runner and some giant tataga that are hanging out on the other side of this little ledge. And I'm just kind of looking around. I'm trying to figure out, which side are these rainbow runners going to come from. They're pretty dumb fish, and they get kind of close. And it ended up this guy from the right side came in, so I popped him real quick and then head up to get some air. And it's decently calm right now. I've not got any sharks really bothering me, but I know you can't take your time out here. When you shoot a fish, you got to get your fish in as quick as possible, because there are relentless sharks out here that don't take no for an answer. Look at that nice rainbow runner. And it's so fishy, I decided to take another drop right at this same exact spot. And I wasn't down here long at all. I think I landed on this ledge, and I may have gave a scratch or a grunt, and then this 4 or 5 pound bluefin jack comes in. So pop him and head back up. And those black tips are still around, but I'm really not that worried about the black tips or the white tips. It's when the silkies show up that I get a little worried. And here we got the rainbow runner. Came right back in, the whole school of them. So I don't even have to drop to the bottom. I just get down to their depth and lay out in the water and wait for one of them to get too close. I think this guy right here is going to do it. And it's at this point I realize the silky sharks have now officially moved in, so I don't even bother taking this fish off the shaft at first. I brain it, and then I just stick it right on the end of the shaft. Or I stick the shaft back down in the gun, and I get ready to start jabbing faces. And there's one of them, and this is a pretty big silky. He's probably the biggest one I've ever seen. I think one of the guys on Instagram said he was big enough to have his own ecosystem, and he does. He's got all kinds of fish following him around. And then there's a second silky that moves in also, and they're both just kind of hanging out around me and doing their little circle thing on the bottom and checking me out. And I'm taking my time, trying to stay wary of them. They're really unpredictable, so I'm just loading my gun up and waiting for a good chance to take this fish off and put it on my stringer. And I've looked around, and I believe they're gone now. They're, or at least I can't see them. I'm sure they're still around somewhere. So I get right back to fishing. This is probably 50 yards down from where I was at, and I hit this little rock down here, and you can see all these big parrotfish out here. There's huge ones, and then some tatagai out there. I even seen a gigantic coral trout that was hanging out. He was probably 15 pounds, but he didn't stick around very long. I don't think he liked sharks either. I'm really hanging out, seeing if I can get a shot at one of these parrotfish, but they're kind of staying within or just right outside of my range. And look at those tatagai, they're tanks, right? I make a lunge for this guy, but he turns around and swims off, and by that point they've all kind of got out of range, and I'm running out of breath, so I head up and get some air. So I do a good breathe up, and then I turn right back around, and I try to hit the same location, but the current started to pick up a little bit, so it pushed me down the reef just a little bit, and I'm actually kind of closer to where the fish are hanging out at. And not taking a dumb shot there really helped me, kind of keep these fish around. It's amazing what it'll do to a fish when you don't take a shot at it. You just go up, they calm down, and then you can get really, really close to them. Right now, I'm just trying to pick one out and figure out which one I'm gonna take a shot at. And this guy right here is getting kind of close, so I lunge out and I hit him. But he wraps that shaft up on the bottom, turns the flopper up, and takes off. Normally, I'm pretty bummed about shooting a fish and it not ending up on the dinner table and just dying out in the ocean. But I don't think there's any fear of this fish not being eaten, because all that commotion has drug the silkies back in. So they're rolling around here, circling me now, and I'm trying to get my shaft loaded up in case I gotta jam some faces. And now the big dude has moved back in. And this is just a massive silky. They're really big when they they have the feeder fish following them around, just hanging out with them. And this guy's big enough to where he's not really worried about me. He is not timid at all. He's climbing up in the water column and inching closer and closer. But I've got gun in hand, and I'm prepared to jam some faces if need be. And you can see just how hard it is to keep track of them, right? They blend in.
There's
so
a fucking
good.
Massive goddamn silky right here, dude. He keeps circling me, dude.
All right, so Jeremiah and John picked me up, and now we moved down to a different spot, and my luck just went completely downhill from here, right? I dropped down. This is kind of like my first drop, and I just landed right on top of this sea turtle, and I didn't even see him. He was kind of off beside me, hanging out in this hole. And look at this wall of tatagai that just moves in. They're everywhere. And I wasn't really even ready for this. When I dropped, I didn't see any fish. It was kind of a blind drop. And then when I got down there, fish everywhere. And this is the very next drop. I moved out onto the reef, probably in about 40, 45 feet of water. And check this guy out. It comes in. I probably should have popped that dude. He was big. But I was hoping to get a nice sized Tataga before I left today, so I kind of let him get out of range, and I didn't take that shot. He was within range just then, but I just held off for whatever reason, and then he just kind of swam around and then took off. And look at all these Tataga, that big moo. They're everywhere. My Dyneema for my wishbone, the knot came loose on my gun, so right now I am cutting the rubber off of my load assist, and I'm not done fishing yet, dude. So I'm gonna cut the rubber off this, and I'm gonna load this gun using my load assist, which works. I'm able to get the gun loaded. And this is the last drop of the day. After the gun wishbone breaking and what happens right here happening, I decide to call it, right? And I drop down and I'm trying to coax this jack into coming over to me. It ends up working out, but he I don't know, he pulls a matrix on me and just kind of wings this shot, or I think it was just me. I think I overshot him, but yep, miss. And you could see the mess I've got of a gun down there from trying to shoot it without it set up properly. All right, guys, that's it for today. This is me handing the gun to John, hopping up in the boat, and us scooting on out of here. And hey, thanks for watching. If you like the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And I'm just going to leave this picture here of all the fish we shot today to make up for me not getting video of them in the water.